Hello, my name is Andrew Grant, and today I want to share with you how to take a lot of the personal data that you have on your Apple OS system that is automatically generated from using applications and store it into an encrypted disk image. These are not the files that you create in everyday use, like your word processing files, your spreadsheets, things like that. These are the files that are created and stored in your home folders library when you use things like email, calendars, and iCal, your address book, your Safari web browser, your Firefox web browser. This is the personal data, caches, history, download files, things like that you just don't want somebody to get a hold of if they were to steal your laptop or your desktop, or somebody were to just get access to your hard drive and just start pulling files off. So I'd like to show you what we've done here. This video kind of assumes that you've already watched two of my previous videos. Those are first how to create a sparse bundle disk image that's encrypted, and the second one is keyword searches within disk images. So once you watch those, you can then use this third video. Basically, when you go to your home folder library, there's a bunch of information in here. Some of it's things that I just don't care about. Some of it's a little bit too personal. So for instance, the cookies from my web browser, the calendars file that has all of my dates and appointments, my mail, my email actual data, my sent, received email, my trash folder, all the different folders I've created to save things, my download files from my email, Safari's history, and forms and cookies and things like that. Then you have calendars, of course. You have your application support. There's your address book. And there's various histories from different programs you may have. Basically what you want to do is go through your library, both application support and the library itself, and you want to make note of any programs that you store personal information in, or any files that may have personal information about you. Then you want to copy those files into your encrypted disk image. For my encrypted disk image, I use docs-sh_, and I've created a library folder to mimic the library folder that these files originally came out of in my home drive. Once that's done, I've gone ahead and dragged the folders, literally made a copy. For this example, I'll show you what we did with mail. I took the original mail file and I dragged a copy to the disk image. Now it copied it, it did not move it. Now you've got to make sure that the applications that you're dealing with, the files that you're dealing with, those applications are quit at that time. So I definitely did not want my Apple Mail running when I did this. So I went ahead and dragged mail and mail downloads into the encrypted disk image. I could have done it by holding down the command key to just move it, or I could copy it and then delete them if I felt comfortable after the copy. So it's however you want to do it. The important thing is once the copy was made, I drag the folder back holding down Command and Option to get this shortcut icon. When I did that, I'm going to go ahead and escape out of this. When I did that, it created a shortcut from the original source to the new location. So when Mail launches, it looks for this folder called Mail, and as far as it's concerned, all the data is inside that folder. In reality, what we're seeing here is the contents of this folder on my encrypted disk image, because I copied the file and then made a shortcut back to the original location after deleting the original files, or moved the file and created a shortcut back, however you prefer. Now I can launch Mail, and Mail acts just normally as long as this encrypted disk image is mounted. Now, a word to the wise, I definitely wanted this disk image to mount automatically when I logged into my account. So to that end, I went into System Preferences, underneath Accounts, then underneath Login Items, you can see that docs-sh pound was added. If you don't have it, you go your encrypted disk image, you click plus, navigate to where that encrypted disk image is, you select it, hit add, and for this to work you have to have the password in your keychain saved. If you don't, it's going to prompt you for a password. And any programs such as Safari, Mail, iCal, Address Book, anything like that just goes ahead and works because it finds the data here that it's looking for. There is one application that caused me problems when I tried to move its data files, and that was Address Book. Address Book's data is saved under Application Support, under Address Book. Now what I did was I went ahead and copied Address Book. You definitely don't want to move this one because you will get an error. Under Application Support, my disk image, you can see I have Address Book. One file and one file only caused me problems. And that was this file here, addressbook-v22.abcddb. This file could not be moved. For whatever reason, it was locked. Because of that, what I did was I created a second folder here called addressbook-locked. It was just a way to reference that it's the Address Book folder stuff that was locked and could not be moved. So what I did is I copied the entire Address Book contents here. Then I went ahead and moved this folder, this single file, addressbook-v22, moved it into the new folder. I dragged the original Address Book, this file, this Address Book folder, dragged it, made a shortcut back to here, which you see here right now. And then inside of this folder, I took this Address Book v22 and dragged a shortcut from here into here. Now this sounds weird, but basically what I've done is I've moved the Address Book folder here and made a shortcut. But the one file that couldn't move, I made a shortcut back to where it now resides, back on my original home folder library. So basically what you're doing is a couple of redirects. Address Book redirects to the new folder, but the one file inside that folder redirects back to your boot drive. There may be a more elegant way of doing this. Let's just say I couldn't find it easily, so this solution worked. So essentially that's what's going on. You're copying or moving files, you're making a shortcut back to the original location, and then you're launching the application to make sure it works, such as Mail, Address Book, iCal. Make sure everything works well, and when you're done, everything is being stored in an encrypted disk image. Now, just for argument's sakes, there are a few things that I've felt were personal data that I recommend you consider. As a starting point, under Application Support, there's Address Book. You'll also, if you run Firefox, you'll have Firefox data underneath Application Support. If you run Skype or anything like that, I suggest you consider that. Caches folder under your system library has a com.apple.safari, Firefox if you're running it, and a metadata that contains a Safari folder with your bookmarks and history. The calendars folder moves over easily. The cookies folder, Mail, Mail downloads, and Safari. These are the minimum ones that I would consider. There are also some folders in your Documents folder. Inside Documents, there is an iChats folder. If you've asked iChat to save your iChat communications, if you're typing instant messages, iChat will automatically store those in plain text so that they can be read. So what I did, I copied the iChats over, deleted the original, and dragged a shortcut back down to my documents. So you can see that anything that's personal, regardless of where it's stored, most of it's under your home folder library.